start looking at what's coming out this week before Tanya gets here, so I'll be better at this game.
Well, this is just from a scene in the top movie of the last week, Guardians 3.
Ah, okay. And see, when you say it, it always seems like it fit. Did you know this one?
I didn't.
Okay.
Because my mind was going to current, and I was like looking at my list, and I couldn't put it together.
You couldn't put it together. Well, I do know with Guardians, everybody I've seen, even other radio shows I've listened to, they all put it as one of the best. Go see it. There's nothing wrong with it. And so that's probably why it's the top this week, is because apparently it's a good one.
Yeah, and you've got an awesome soundtrack to go with it.
Well, you do.
Yeah.
All right, but it's not the only thing that's out this week. You got some new stuff that's coming up.
Yeah, we do have some new things, but I really do think Guardians will be on top again.
Yeah.
But, pretty good counter programming. The big release this weekend is Book Club, The Next Chapter.
Oh, it looks fun.
Yeah, and I have not seen it yet. But I did rewatch Book Club with the intention of going to see this one. And after I watched Book Club again, I was like, I can't do it. I forgot how much I didn't really like that movie. I think at the time I didn't not like it as much as I didn't like it when I watched it last night.
So when was the first one?
The first one is the four, older ladies who are kind of, they've started a book club. And the book that they've chosen to read when we meet them is 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, Will, really?
And so that just kind of sparks some things.
See that coming.
Yeah. And so, you've got one that's single and vows she'll always stay single, one whose husband has died, and she meets somebody and she's torn between moving on. And she's also got her adult daughters, who think she's old and feeble, even though she's not. So she's got that going on. Then you've got the one whose husband doesn't pay attention to her, and, that kind of stuff. So these four ladies we have, again, at this time, one of them is getting married. Jane Fonda's character is marrying Don Johnson's character. And so the ladies decide they're all going to go to Italy and celebrate this wedding and, get their friend married. So I feel 100% confident, without seeing it yet, that if you like the first one, you're going to like this one. And I don't want to say I hated the first one. I just was doing a lot of other stuff while I was watching it. It was not keeping my attention,
Yeah.
So I was kind of sorting through some old pictures and things while I watched it.
I'm sure if you also like the 80s for Brady and you kind of like that sort of vibe or whatever, then you're probably going to enjoy it.
And I really enjoyed 80s for Brady. I mean, wait, is that right?
80s or 80 for Brady? 80.
80 for Brady.
Not 80s.
I've been listening too much 80s music.
Squirrel.
But anyway, they've got their fun moments, and they all take digs at themselves. And, Jane Fonda's in this one, Mary Steenburgen, Candice Bergen, and Diane Keaton. And that was the other thing. When I rewatched Book Club last night, Diane Keaton was really getting on my nerves. She always kind of plays that same character. Mm-hmm. And I hate to say that because I think I just was not in the mood for it. And sometimes that makes a big difference.
It's okay. You're allowed, Tanya, not to like everything. That's what you do. You review them, yeah.
But the movie that I did watch is actually available on Netflix. And it's appropriately for this weekend called The Mother. And it stars Jennifer Lopez, which her red carpet antics this week has made headlines because everybody thought when she and Ben Affleck, her husband, were walking the red carpet that they were arguing. But a British tabloid hired a lip reader and determined, no, they weren't arguing.
Oh my God.
They just had stressful, stress faces going on, but they were not arguing. So that's the most I've really heard about this movie until I saw it. And it is rated R because of violence and language. But Jennifer plays like a former military girl who is kind of picked out of a crowd because not only is she really good at, what she's doing, but she kind of gets involved with some illegal activities, and it's two guys that she partners up with. She has relationships with both of them, and her plan is, she felt like once she got out of the military, she had nothing to go to. And so she felt like this was her chance to make some money, better herself, and move on. But she was never able to move on. And when the time came, she discovered that they were hiding some secrets from her that she could not live with. So she went to the FBI. And because of that, she's got a target on her back. She's pregnant and has the baby when the movie starts. And then because of that target on her back, she has to abandon the baby for its safety. And so that's kind of how it all starts off. And then it kicks off or fast forwards to, I think, 10 or 12 years later. I think it was 12. And this little girl, it's figured out that this is her child. And so she's kidnapped in an effort to try to get Jennifer's character to come in out of the woods so that they can kill her.
I've seen the previews, and I mean, I haven't. It looks like it could be decent, but she to me doesn't fit like the when I have who am I thinking of? Bruce Willis's ex who played the army, or was that her?
Demi
Demi
Moore.
Moore, who played what was the name of that movie?
G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane. She doesn't fit like Demi Moore was a more attractive, butchier G.I. Jane, and I just can't see her as the military.
Yeah, and they tried real hard to make her not drop dead gorgeous, but you can't,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she wears the military garb. She does not wear anything attractive, yet she still is. So I found myself watching Jennifer Lopez and not this character.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah. Honestly, I think this is it was released straight to Netflix, and I think that was a smart move. I think if I had seen it in the theater, I would have been wanting my money back. But it's not an awful movie. It's just not super good.
If you're just looking for something filler and you have seen everything else.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of hers, and Joseph Fiennes is also in it. So, good actors, but the script had so many holes. It was like so much of it just did not add up for me. So if you want to go to the movie with your mother this weekend, or as a mother, you want to be taken to the movie, if your kids are little, I would say hands down, go see Super Mario Brothers. I mean, that's the one to see. If your kids are older, and when I say older, I mean older teens, or if you are an adult female and you want to take your mom or male to the movie, take them to see the Judy Blume movie, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Or if you got a cool mom, go see Guardians.
Oh, yeah. That would be what I would ask my kids to take me to,
Yeah.
for sure.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
And there is one more out this weekend in limited release, but I did see that it's in our market, and probably those of you up north will probably have it in some of those areas closer to Memphis, called BlackBerry. And it just tells the story of the rise and the fall of the actual BlackBerry device. So,
Wow, I bet that would be interesting.
yeah. So it's like a real movie with real actors, but then they've got a lot of real footage, in there, kind of like Air about
I just was asked, how did that do? How did it?
It did well. It's solid numbers and is considered a hit, but I think it was more of a critic darling. I mean, I think the critics really, really loved it. So I feel like we'll see it pop up come award season.
Will that one be streaming at any point? Because I feel like I'd watch it there. I might want to see it.
I'm sure it will, and it probably will be soon because it's already been out few months, and I think the dates, it depends on who's distributing it, but it's usually like 60 or 90 days out.
You just brought back a lot of memories for folks with their BlackBerry.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was like the gateway drug to where we are now.
Yeah. I never had a BlackBerry.
I had one. The only reason I had one is a job I took. And I only had the BlackBerry I didn't even have it long enough to figure it out before they switched over and got the whole team or whatever their iPhones through the company. So I just had it for a very short span, but the thumb things was totally different.
Yeah.
than sort of than the switching over. Man, you just made a lot of people. Some people were very married to their BlackBerry. That was
yes.
that was their baby. So it will be interesting. They should make a movie about MySpace. The rise and fall of my, and the BlackBerry.
Can you still even go to MySpace?
Yes. And the fact that you even knew, yes, you still can. We don't, but yes, you still can, which is sad on so many levels. All right, Tanya, thank you. We'll see you back next week. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. You too.
And graduation. I know that's a big deal for all moms.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, stick with us. We got more for you.